Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the King and I Life podcast, hosted by your boys. It's me, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my brother in here.
Son Soul Lex.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's been a minute, but we are still here. We're still live. We still kicking it and all that good stuff.
Definitely.
And as you know, go ahead and hit up www.kingandilife.com for all of that pertinent podcast information, bios, video links, podcast episode links, audience feedback, all that other good stuff. So Lex, what you got for them?
Yeah, my all-time favorite. You guys definitely can hit us up at KINGANDEYE369 at gmail.com. Again, that's King and I 369 at gmail.com. If you guys want to come on to the podcast platform, if you have questions, comments, if there's certain topics you guys would like for us to discuss, please hit us up and let us know because we would love to have you on.
You know what it is. You know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Damn, what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. I was going to say something crazy. Lost it. But anyway, hopefully. So let's get into this topic today. What we talking about, man? What we talking about?
The topic tonight is again one of those that has raged on for years and years and decades. But I think I can't say it's more important now, but it shouldn't be as important. But anyway, the topic question for tonight is: should looks still be high on your must-have list as far as selecting a mate? This is truly an age-old question between men and women. Should looks mean more or non-physical attributes? Although times have changed, do looks still carry the same weight as before, or has attractiveness faded in the background? That is the question we're here to ask tonight, or answer tonight, rather.
Or try to answer.
Yeah. Just give our 2 cents.
Yeah.
So, is it more important to have a great personality or to have good looks?
Honestly, that's going to have to depend on individual circumstances and all of that. And that depends. That goes back to whether you want a traditional relationship or whatever people are calling it these days. I know we've talked on it before, and I think in general, traditional and conventional relationships, however you want to title them, have kind of like fallen to the wayside for a lot of people. I would say you need to have a combination of great personality and decent looks. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
most people
I would agree with that statement because simply looks fade eventually. There are some people who carry their age very well, as far as getting older, staying healthy, watching their weight, and things along that line. But I don't know. I think personality has just as much weight, if not more, because when you're older and you settle down, someone who made you laugh or has that type of personality, it's going to be a hell of a lot more entertaining than someone who's up there trying to powder their nose or worried about their physical attributes, as they say.
Yeah. But the thing about that is even if looks don't fade, you might be tired of looking at that person. Um and I'm saying that and I mean it because you have to look at, why people tend to get bored, why people cheat, and all the kind of other things. It's like You can have a great personality, you can have good looks, and that can hold you off for a while. Um, but for some people, you honestly might get tired of looking at that same person. And they might be you this lady or this man that you with might be bad as hell. But you looking at this person every day. So as much as we all want a good looking person, and let's just say, just for the sake of conversation, we got
Right.
a dime on our arm, you know, it might be a woman or a man that's two, three notches below that person that we have, and that person may be more attractive at that moment. Um, and it may or may not be their personality. It just may be a vibe they're giving off. So I don't know. I mean, I've been in situations to where I've had a you know a very attractive woman on my arm, but it's like something about her that just I'm just not feeling.
Um, I'll say this: when some people, I'm not gonna, narrow it down to women, but some people, they feel that their looks have carried them so far in life. It's always gotten them where people will go out of their way to do nice things for them. So
Mm-hmm.
once their looks start to deteriorate, um, then it's kind of like, what do you have then? Because you didn't take the time to develop your personality or um, charm or your ability to communicate with people because you've always just depended on your looks. So, with that being said, I feel like personality and the type of person you are carries more weight than looks to a certain extent. Because the thing about it is someone who makes you laugh or someone has a great personality or easy to get along personality, you can tend to stick with that person longer than someone who may feel that their looks, is kind of like their money bag. So once the money bag is gone and dried up, there's nothing there, that makes you feel attracted to them.
That's kind of a safe way to answer that. But I mean, if I'm gonna keep it real, if I'm gonna keep it all the way real,
All right, keep it winded in.
it doesn't matter if the person looks good. It doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter about their personality. It's a lot of things that don't matter. When you're tired of some aspect of a person, none of that shit matters. It really don't matter. Like, I've been in situations where I've had women, slide me a few dollars here and there just to, keep me,
Because
interested in them or whatever. I've had females that look good, and I've had females that had great personalities, but it's like, if they're not a complete package and they're not balanced, and when I mean balanced, I'm not saying everything got to be level. What I'm
right.
saying is it could be the looks one day or 1 week or 1 month. It could be the personality, but it has to be even balanced, and it has to, level off to some degree where you stay interested in that person. Again, but that takes work on both people. Like, I can't be such an asshole to be like, well, damn, I'm tired of looking at her, so I'm not interested in her no more. I have to be like, all right, well, she looks good, personality, she takes care of home, she takes care of me, blah blah blah, and I have to keep looking at those and keep bouncing them all the time, because if I'm not doing the work, then I'm just fucking shallow, and it, that's on me. But again, we cannot sit here as humans,
Hmm.
as human beings. We cannot sit here and say one thing outweighs the other to keep our interest, because we will be lying to ourselves. That's just my opinion.
Oh no, oh no, man! Because the thing about it again is, let's say you got the baddest chick, to walk the planet, and then something happens to her where she may get a bad scar or something like that. So she's so used to having her looks that this scar has basically knocked her off of her pedestal. So again, she never took the time to develop her personality or her people skills. So what are you left with then? It's kind of like you left with someone who, again, you were just strictly with them because of their looks. But once that's gone, what do you have? Like, I think the most relationships that last the longest is because it's not strictly based off of looks. It's because of what that other person, brings to the. I'm not gonna say table. Lord knows I don't want to say that. Person brings to the relationship. I mean, do
Oh
they
man.
bring laughter? Do they bring joy? Do they bring security? Do they bring loyalty? Do they bring um, companionship? All those things right there, to me, like I said, I just believe those type of things bring more. Um, how should I put this? They bring more weight to that person than just their looks.
I hear you, but if you're not looking at this person's looks, right?
All right.
And you're looking at just this person's personality, just like you might get tired of looking at this person every day, you might get tired of that personality all the time. Just think throughout your entire life, how many women that you've dated that may have been the baddest motherfuckers on the planet, or they had a great personality, or they was a beast in the bed. Just think at some point, something in one of those three categories got old to you. It got old. And there's no knock on that person.
Right.
It just got old to you. And you was like, I gotta find the next new thing because I'm used to this. This is old to me. I need a new toy. I need something, I need a new rush. I need something new. So again, everybody on the planet goes through that. Um, ideally, ideally, looks should not be like way, way, way up on the top of the list, although you want a decent person. Um, ideally, that person has so many other qualities that looks are secondary to a lot of those qualities. But you still have to look at this person as a job because relationships are jobs, marriages are jobs. There are only a small percentage of people on the planet that love going to the same job for 20, 30, 40 years. Look at that with relationships or people that you're dealing with. There's a percentage of people who are completely happy seeing the same and seeing and dealing with the same person 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That's that is not, everybody is not going to have that. So it don't have to be about the looks. It could be about the money. But again, you might get tired of, goddamn, you know, I got everything I need, and that's all that person is. That person is a great provider, a great spoiler, this, that, and the other. Or this person has a great goddamn personality. If this person is lacking, or us as individuals look at that person as they're lacking, it's going to be a problem.
Okay. So I hear what you're saying. So let me try to examine this, right? You're saying no matter how good they look or how great of a personality they have, eventually you're going to get tired of their ass.
Yes. I'll give you a perfect example.
All right, break it down then.
I give you a perfect example. I've known women, fine as shit, fine as shit. And I know they're men. Me and they men could have been cool or whatever the case may be. And she bad as shit. Or I've known women who had dudes that look good as shit. They find something wrong with that person. Either they find something wrong with that person or that person has some fucking flaws that just out there. And it's like I'm looking at the dude or looking at the chick. I'm like, well, damn, you got a nice looking, lady right there, or your dude is like mad. He's a good look. Oh, but this motherfucker, this and this, that, and this, that, and that, la, 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 la. Oh, he don't do this and he don't do that. Man, yeah, she look good, but she this, but she that. And it's like, damn, as an outsider and coming up in my years, I'm like, if you got a good looking one, you got gold. But as I've gotten older,
Mm-hmm.
whew, just because they look good don't mean they gold. It just don't mean they gold.
Damn sure right about that.
I mean, look at it like this. If every good person, if their good looks meant that much, it'd be a lot of ugly single people on the planet.
I feel you.
Because nobody would let that good looking person go for nothing. They wouldn't cheat on them. They wouldn't talk bad about them. Nothing. Nothing.
Like I say, everything that glitters is definitely not gold.
It's not.
So, do looks define men or women most? You think?
That depends on the individual and what they're looking for. Again, when I was younger, I always wanted the good looking girl. Why? Because she got the most attention. Um, you got a good looking girl in your arm, you get the most dap. You get them, you that dude if you got that good looking girl. But as I've gotten older, sometimes they are headaches because sometimes they either know they look good or their egos have been inflated so much that they just ugly no matter how good they look. So it's one of those things to where it's like they gotta have balance with them.
I'll say this. I'll say I think that men value female looks more than women value male looks. Simply because, like you said, every young man or every man wants a good looking female on their arm. They go that way. Um, I know I certainly enjoy a good looking female. Um, I think when it comes to women, though, I think it might not be as important simply because I've seen plenty of attractive women and I'd be looking at their boyfriend or husband like, how in the hell did that work out? It has to be the money. It got to be the money. That's just my way of laughing at the situation. But there had to be something about that person that uh, attracted her to him. And again, if you don't have the best physical features, then definitely you either gotta have a fat ass wallet or a strong ass personality, or you just good at what you do, which is being yourself. But
Yeah, but it's one of those things to where um, it's situational. It's really situational because you do have to take into account that um, certain things get old. They just get old, um, and there's no way around that. So yeah, I mean, it just gets old.
okay, with that being said, then do relationship last based upon looks or value?
Again, that's another one of them things that go into it. It depends on your situation, um, your maturity, where you at in life. Looks meant a lot to me then. Looks mean something now, but and then it depends on what you mean by value too.
Like, again, we're talking about the relationships who have gone, those 10, 20, 30 years. And again, we all know that looks fade, but do your personality at that point hold more weight, or do the what you used to look like compared to what you look like now hold more weight?
Everybody looks fade. So, like for instance, if I could put myself in a situation into the equation,
All right.
I can have a nice looking lady. We can be together 5, 10 years, or whatever the case may be. She may put on a little weight. She may get a few wrinkles. Breasts might start sagging. Um, you know, ass get flat, and all type of stuff that goes on.
Right.
She may not be as attractive to me as she used to be. I got to take it to consideration that you know I'm gonna have a hunch in my back. I might have wrinkles. My belly might start hanging. So at that point, if you keep it equal, okay, looks fade. What else is there? Personality is there. Shit, my personality might change because I'm tired of looking at her. Her personality might change because she's tired of looking at me. Um, then you also have to look at the fact that, hell, if we've been together 10, 20, 30 years, or whatever people's no turning back times frame is,
Right.
shit, we've been together 10 years. I don't want to start over. I might as well stay with this. You may be thinking all kind of shit when you look at her, like, God damn, I'm tired of looking at this motherfucker. But hey, I don't feel like starting over. She may be the same way.
Um, I have to agree with that. Let me add a little bit more onto that when it comes down to value, though. I think that once you got into that certain point in your relationship, it's kind of like you've already built, a lot of the things that you are looking forward to in your life, meaning a 20, 30-year mark. So at that point, I think you both carry pretty much about the same amount of value, meaning you both built this relationship and this lifestyle together for the most part. Um, so, with that being said, it's kind of like you both have put so much into the other person that one person really can't say who or why they hold more value than the other person, because you both gotten to that point or arrived at that destination at the same time, because you both worked at that relationship to maintain it. That's the way I see it.
But then you have to look at it like this.
All right. Go ahead, shoot.
No matter who you with, is it balanced in a way that you are both on the same plane? Or is it balanced in a way where either you or that other person is a factor in the balance in that relationship? Like, let's just take looks off the table.
All right.
Um, her as a woman, she comes and she's running at 80%. You at a man, as a man, you come in and you're running at 20%. How long is that going to be sustainable? Because if it can't get to 50-50, or you know 55-45, 60-40, where it's closer to equal on the same plane, how long is that going to be sustainable? you know People's talking about that 80-20 rule, shit like that, and it's like, how sustainable is that, especially today?
Yeah. That one right there, I get what you're saying. You know, which person is basically more or less doing more work.
Mm-hmm.
And that person who's doing the most work, how do they feel about that? Do they don't mind it, or do they feel like, man, I'm doing all the damn work. I might need to replace you.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to replace you. But I get what you're saying, though. So, do men or women hold looks in higher regards when it comes to themselves?
Um. Honestly, I don't know. Um. I would say men at a younger age. I would say both at a younger age. Um. But getting older, you know what? I would say men. I think I would go with men. Um. And I say that because subliminally in our conscience somewhere, we always want to have a good looking woman on our arms,
Hmm.
especially in public.
Right.
Um, so yeah, but then again, I'll say it doesn't matter how good that woman looks. At some point, we might get tired of looking at
I'll say I think that when you're younger, women hold their looks in higher regards. When you're
her. Hmm.
older, I think men hold their looks in higher regards. Simply because, let me take that back. The men that I associate with
Hmm.
take their health a little bit more seriously, simply because they know that at that point, or at this stage in our lives, we have people depending on us.
Mm.
Meaning, if you have a wife, or if you have kids, or if you have maybe a parent or a guardian that you're taking care of. So all those play a factor
Right.
into how some men treat themselves. There are some men who just don't give a damn, and that's their choice. But for some men who feel like I got too much weight on me not to care about my looks or the condition of my body,
Hmm.
I think it definitely carries more weight when you're older. And the thing about, I think, whether you're a man or a woman, when you get older, some people still feel like they still got it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, I don't have to work out. I don't have to eat right. I don't have to um, do all the things I used to do when I was younger. I still have it, even
Hmm.
though you went from like 120 or 115 as a female to you damn near knocking on 230
Right.
now, and you 5'5",
Hmm.
and vice versa for men. So when you for a person that has that type of mind frame, um, you know, all hats off to you. If you
Right.
you don't have to work out, or if you don't want to work out, or try to maintain some type of healthiness about yourself, that's your choice, and no one can knock you for that. It's all good. But again, I just think that when men get older, it's kind of like it affects them more mentally to try to maintain a healthier lifestyle.
But okay, so when you look at it like that, um, I guess I answered it kind of backwards. Um, I would say women hold looks in higher regard because they're in more competition with younger, good looking women.
Good
Um,
point. Good point.
because women know at some point that they're going to go through menopause. They're going to go through women things and this, that, and the other. And they know a lot of shit about them is going to change. And it's either their looks that are going to change or it's going to be their outlook, which is part of their personality and stuff like that. That is going to change more drastically with women than it is for men. If you look at men overall when it comes to that, as we get older, yes, we would like to be as fit as the 20-year-old us, or the 20-year-old cat that we see, the 30-year-old, whatever the case may be. But it's easier for us to accept, for a lot of us, it's easier to accept getting older because as long as you have that lion in the jungle mentality and you have somewhat decent looks about you, then it's no big deal. Um, and I'll say most of us, as long as we look fairly decent on the outside,
Right.
we feel pretty good on the inside, and just to be blunt, and as long as we can still lay that meat, we don't really care about all of that. All of that other shit is irrelevant for us because the biggest thing that for us is our egos, and as long as we can put in that work in the bed, we got a fighting chance to still be on the market. Women, when they get to some of them, when they get to that point, it's like they bed skills die. They lose that. So if you combine that with their looks going down, then you got to look at that.
Well said. Well said. Um, I don't know. The thing about it is, like I said, I think that responsible men try to keep themselves in a decent shape. Not meaning, they're finna go out here and run a marathon or be the next Mr. Olympics or some shit like that. But I don't know. I think that once you're at that age or you get to a certain age, your responsibilities um, they increase to a certain extent, meaning you feel more responsible for the things that you have. Like your whole decisions are based off of okay, if something happens to me, what happens to my family? What will my family do? Or what am I leaving behind for my loved ones? So that's the only reason why I think once you get to a certain age as a man, you want to or you want to at least try to maintain um, being healthy or your looks as best you can.
I think that's more of a thing in the last, I'll say 10, 15, maybe 20 years.
I would agree.
Um, and I'll say that because we all know back then, especially black men, but men in general, it's like don't go to the doctor unless something is wrong. But I think with the changing of times, the changing of environment, the way things move, the way things work these days, that is more of a factor for more men than it was back then. Um,
So true.
and then if you look at, how women were, it was like, you know, if you look at it from the aspect of the man was the winner and the woman was the homemaker, it didn't matter for her because she was dependent on him to take care of the family, and all she did is maintain the castle.
Right.
So that's how I look at that.